When my boyfriend raises his voice in anger towards me, I'm highly triggered. My father and others were abrupt, loud, and intimidating. How do I integrate those hurts so I can feel more in control when my boyfriend expresses anger loudly? Well, this is going to sound weird, but you have to get in touch with your anger. Whatever extreme you're describing, if you are hanging out on one end of that spectrum, it means that you're going to have to move closer towards the other end of that spectrum. So if you have a lot of energy around, oh, I can't stand anger because my parents are intimidating and they were so loud and it made me feel unsafe and scared and helpless. So I'm going to spend most of my time hanging out on this end of the spectrum where I'm scared and helpless and can't stand somebody's anger and I'm feeling triggered all the time. So if you're spending all your time over here and this is the energy that that you are chomping around, then you're going to have to start to move over towards embracing some of that power and realizing that anger has healthy expressions as well, and then allowing yourself to experience more of that healthy angry expression. And then you'll be able to be present with somebody else's anger, whether it's healthy or not, and not be as affected by it, because you know that your handle on anger isn't dependent upon their handle of anger, right? And that's their narrative, and you're not going to take it on. Now, the same thing happens if you're over here. Maybe they were intimidating and loud and invading and all of that. And so you learned, well, I have to be intimidating and loud and invading. And so when they turn on, you turn on, and the situation becomes revved up, right? So now everybody's yelling and hitting below the belt, and it's all revved up because we're all in defense and survival mode, right? So in this case, this is about moving back towards the other end of the spectrum. So how in the moment can I start to create a pause and some spaciousness and create the spaciousness and the distance and the boundaries that I need in that moment to regulate myself, to connect to my nervous system, to breathe more easily, to know that I need to step out of the room for a minute. And to trust that even if I'm angry, I know that I'm not going to cross the line, because I know how to excuse myself if I need to until I'm ready to come back, right? And whatever those choices I'm making in the moment are mine. They're my own sovereign authority. And of course, if it's a situation where your physical safety is under threat, you're always going to remove yourself from the situation. And also kind of feeling into, can we have a mindful conversation even while we're angry? Because you can be like, I'm really upset about this and I want to talk about it. And you can have a tone of voice, you can have a body language, you can have a pressured kind of speech, and still the words coming out of your mouth are measured, they're mindful, they're talking about the specific thing that you're talking about. They do not blow the situation out of proportion. They move towards repair. Okay, so there is a way to have a healthy argument and be angry during that argument. So it's about, what do I need to do with my energy, whether it is fire it up or learn to cool it down, so that I can meet in the middle, so that I can express anger healthily, because there are ways to do it. And usually it's going to start with creating opportunities for you to be in conversation with that anger. And I would say when it comes to anger, it's usually going to be an embodied process. So working with the nervous system, yes, but not just to calm it down. Okay. Sometimes people think, oh, well, nervous system regulation is all about calming it down. Sometimes if you get revved up, sometimes it's leaning in. So, and letting it move. So for example, I might recommend activating breath. Some people say, oh, well, you should do, and it's true, you should do box breathing to calm down. Yeah. But if you're doing that and it's not working, you probably need activating breath. And so that means you're actually, you're going to let it happen. I would do it in safe ways, and I would do it with trained practitioners that can help you with that. But you got to lean in a little bit. And then sometimes activating that will get it to move in a different way. I hope that helps. Also, remember to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. I put out videos once a week, and I wouldn't want you to miss out.